All right, guys, looks like we are live. Welcome to Jason Hebert Live. Sorry for being a few minutes behind. Hello to everyone already in the chat. We got Linda Richardson, as always. We got our friends from Be United, Jake Knauer, Lisa Gianbaluca, Matthew Brown. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We have quite a story for you today. We have another missing persons case. We're going to go over the details of it. I'll show you a few pictures. Tonight's subject is Shannon House of Northern California. To double check this name, I believe it's Kettenbaum, California. There's some maps, but here he is. We get some pictures all the way from babyhood to adolescence to childhood, up to him as a grown man around the time that he went missing. As always, I do want to recommend Be United, which is a group that I guess you could say, work with. We kind of work side by side. And I'm trying to pull up their flyer. Sorry, guys. Give me just a moment here. Is this Be United? There we go. There is their flyer on Shannon that they've created for this broadcast to help us out. The links will be below. Please check out the Be United Facebook groups, plural, and be-united.org. I am joined tonight with my co-host, Denise McGarity. Denise, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for joining me again. 3 in a row now.
I know. How exciting.
We're becoming a regular team.
I know. Definitely. Good team, though.
An awesome team. I look forward to it
Absolutely.
every time. And let me kind of go into the story tonight, and then I will introduce our guest. We do have Shannon's mom as, oh, you know what? I just realized I do this all the time. As I was showing you guys those pictures, I wasn't sharing my screen. So here's the flyer from Be United. And let's look at a few pictures of Shannon before we go over his story. This is he, along with his family. And again, his mother, Lavonna Kehm, is on with us tonight. So sorry. Still fairly new to doing this, guys. So sometimes I don't click the right button. And I am not a tech guy by any means. So let's get into his story a little bit. Then we will bring on Lavonna. In October of 2015, Shannon House of Kettenbaum, California, was planning to make some changes in his life. As he and business partner Josh's marijuana crops began to harvest, they made arrangements to sell them and finally cash in on months of hard work. Shannon was looking ahead to the future, planning to leave the business behind and make this his last harvest. But on October 11th of that year, Shannon House disappeared, leaving behind his sandals, keys, phone, and wallet inside his truck. In the dirt behind the truck was a machete, still sheathed. Shannon apparently was barefoot when he went missing. Trackers tracked him down to the pond near his home, but determined he had made that walk the day before. Another tracker tracked him down the street, believing to find evidence of a barefoot Shannon attempting to make his way off the road, being dragged back onto it, and then knocked onto the ground. But Shannon's mother, Lavonna, isn't so sure those tracks are of her son, finding them less than definitive. They could even be an animal such as a bear, she surmised. Shannon's best friend and crush, Elon, was his business partner Josh's girlfriend, though the two apparently had an agreed-upon arrangement to live together and see other people without interfering. But Lavonna now fears that some combination of the money due for the harvest, anger about business relations, and or jealousy may have caused harm to come to Shannon. Tonight we have Lavonna Kehm, Shannon's mother, on the show to tell his story in the hopes that if you know something, anything, that you come forward. Lavonna, I want to thank you for joining tonight, and I just want to say we're so sorry for what you're going through.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Absolutely, and you have our support as well. Hello to everyone in the chat. We got a lot of people saying hello and wishing you well already. So do you kind of want to go into, just tell us a little bit about Shannon in general and then kind of lead us into what we do know on the day that he went missing?
Yeah, Shannon is my oldest son, and very big-hearted guy. Large sense of humor, loved teasing his siblings, and was all of our best friends. So he was good to everyone and very supportive of the whole family. And um, we miss him tremendously. And on the morning of October 11th, 2015, my younger son, who was also working up there with Shannon, called me and said that he had gotten up and couldn't find Shannon. So this was probably 11 o'clock. My two of my daughters and Elon Puno, which was another one of the partners in that business, drove up to where the property was. And I got out of the car and spoke with Thomas for a few minutes. And then I said to him, is this going to end well? And he said, I don't think so. I looked everywhere. I went up to Josh, and Josh said, he is not on this property. And I found that strange because the property was like 99 acres. And supposedly Josh had just gotten there a few hours before us. So I found it odd that he searched that much property with as many buildings on that property that there were, and a large pond and a area that he used as a dump site, and be able to say to me that he, he was for sure my son wasn't there. And I know that him and Shannon had words just previously about Shannon being 60 minutes late. He came down off the mountain every 10 days to wash his clothes and get groceries, get supplies and go back up, him and Thomas. And he had stayed behind to meet one of his brand new nephews that had just been born. And Josh jumped him over being late. So it was always picking at him. He didn't want him riding his quads. He didn't want him, doing this, that. It was always some kind of, we have phone text records where he was always jumping Shannon, like he was just irritated with him constantly. Whereas he was always really sweet to Thomas, the younger brother of Shannon's, which, I just found it really odd. But Thomas had no interest in Elon, and Shannon did. He really did have a big crush on her. And it did worry me. The fact is, one of the last conversations, he told me he was ready to be done up there. And you shouldn't go back. Just forget it. You did what you did for Elon. Now just, that's it. And he said, well, I told Josh that I wasn't coming back, that I wasn't going to work for him the next year. And I said, well, how do you take that? And he said he was mad, very upset that I wasn't going to be up there because, yeah, Shannon was very good at growing marijuana plants. So I think there was a lot of money there, and Josh was a little bit upset that he wasn't going to be making quite as much money, with Shannon up there doing all the hard work. But he told me, anyway, I think I've kind of lost track of where I was, huh? Thomas phoned me and said he couldn't find Shannon, so we drove up. Josh said he wasn't there. We stayed from Monday till Thursday, but on Wednesday, we were still searching the property, and a semi-flatbed truck pulled by us and stopped. And Elon went right up to the window and spoke with the driver. And she was, it was like she either knew him, they were laughing, talking. I don't know if she knew him prior. I worried they had just done some kind of a business deal and maybe I would never see Shannon again. That I did think that. That's what my gut told me. And the night that Shannon went missing, the next morning, just everything that was there told me, the stuff in the truck and his phone charging, and it was almost like something had, this is how I feel, like something had spooked him, jumped out of the truck, not even in time to put his shoes on. There was a hatchet laying in the back of the truck in the ground, or a machete laying on the ground in the dirt, like he had grabbed it up, but then had dropped it. And I just feel like on the way up to call and make the police report on Tuesday, it's just they couldn't come up until Wednesday, I guess, or maybe they thought it was going to be dark. They didn't want to come up. But when I was riding up with Elon to the payphone, they called at the end of the property where there was some internet reception. Elon was crying and talking about how she was going to lose her business and how it was going to, cost her everything. And this was, how devastating this was to her. And she was so wrapped up in what she was going to lose, because I was on my way to make a police report, that her friend that was driving the vehicle told her, Elon, he is a human being and his mother is sitting in the back seat. Come on. And
you felt she was more concerned
we got up
with
there.
Sorry.
The money. Yes. Yes. Supposedly his best friend, and all she could think about the day after was her money she was going to lose. The whole time I was up there, it was just like terror. I worried that my other kids and I that were up there wouldn't make it off of that mountain. I worried that I just kind of knew I wasn't going to see him again.
Okay, so my understanding, because I'm not too familiar with really any kind of farming or growing or anything, this is a process where you spend weeks to months spending money and growing it, and then at the end it all pays off if all goes well, right? Okay, so
right. They had been there. I'm sorry. They had been up there for 8.5 months working for Josh, or working. Yeah.
So they spent all this money, put the business together, and then they were right at the point where they're about to profit and split it, and then Shannon goes missing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have some personal issues with him being friends with the girlfriend, which we can go into, as well as you did mention that Shannon was planning on that being his last harvest.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't like being up there in the mountains like that. And I don't think he really liked doing what he was doing. He mentioned, it being a bad influence on the teenagers that were in the family, how he didn't want them, looking up to him for, he was worried about his relationship with his nieces and nephews and them going down that road, instead of, although he did have a lot of legit jobs, he did drive long haul truck and he managed a restaurant and he, did paving work but he had done this type of, he did this type of work for Elon, and actually started with just doing work on their rental properties is how he first started working for him. And then that grew to him, Shannon, Thomas, and one of my daughters trimming for Elon and Josh. And then Josh's mother and his brother. And then that led into Shannon was growing for them and Thomas, then my daughters trimming Shannon's caught that they were harvested. Yeah.
Okay. Can you go into some of the specifics that you know as far as Elon? So they were good friends, but he seemed to like her. Do you know if it was mutual? Do you know how Josh felt about that? Can we go into the specifics of that dynamic?
Well, I know that Josh didn't like Shannon at all. And that is what kind of surprised me that he even wanted him up there. I think he figured if he took Shannon and put him up there in the mountains that he would be away and then he would be down there with Elon. That's kind of the feeling I got. Shannon had nights at Elon's house, Josh and Elon's house, when Josh wasn't there. You know, they'd party and drink and stuff together, and he would stay overnight. So I'm not sure about the mutual feelings. I'm not sure if she felt that way. You know, she said Shannon was her best friend, but that's not the feeling that I got after I saw what happened with Shannon after Shannon was missing. That's not what I saw. I saw everything opposite of, you know, the way she acted. Yeah,
Okay.
no. I don't think she cared about him at all. I think she used him, you know, used him for whatever she could get out of him. But I don't think she cared about him at all.
Okay. And I do just want to make a little disclaimer here. We are dealing with people in highly emotional and personal situations that are just piecing together information that they know. So we never make any hard accusations, even if it sounds like it's heading in that direction. We don't do that. We're just simply trying to piece together the details that we know. And you have to keep in mind that this is her son that she's dealing with. So she is just trying to piece this all together and figure it out. Denise, I don't want to, I want to make sure you get your questions off. So I don't want to yap if you have things to.
The only thing I had a question is when he went missing, there was an incident regarding workers taunting Thomas when he was looking for him. Were those workers that were on that property and on a normal basis, or were these just, strangers?
I don't know exactly. I know that you couldn't see them. You could hear them talking. That's how close the properties were together. You know, his property line to the next door neighbors. And you could hear them talking. And it was Thomas and my younger daughter that were out looking. And they were yelling Shannon's name, in case he was hurt. And they were laughing at him and, repeating his name and, making jokes and taunting. And I know I'm very upset, very mad about all of it because I want answers. And I know that I can't say for sure who did what, but I do know this. I know that he's owned that property for over 20 some years, he said. And I know how they feel about being, growers and how protective they are of each other and how they don't sell each other out and they don't say things that they know. But I do know that after close to 5 years that Elon and Josh do know what happened to my son. I'm not saying they're the ones that murdered him, but I know that they know what happened. I know that in a tight community, that like growers are, they know what happened to him. I have no doubt about that at all. I didn't the first day, but I tried to stay open-minded and get to know him. And I found out a lot about both sides of their families. I know a lot about both sides of their families and what they do for a living, what they've done for years. Yeah, you bet I do. What businesses they own. I know all of that. But I know they know what happened to my son. And I want to know. I want my son back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sorry, guys, we do have a slight delay, so I'm not trying to interrupt. Um, do you want to get into a story about a volunteer firefighter and something he says to have
Yeah,
seen?
yes, yes. This was a tracker that had been um, recommended by the forestry department, a gal that worked up at the forestry department up in Mad River. She was one of the rangers up there. And believe her first name was Angel. And he was recommended. So I hired him, and he said that he tracked Shannon's footprints for, a couple miles down the road. And, he was the one that said that's how, that there was an attack on Shannon there. But he said that he had spoke with a volunteer fire man up from Xenia, Kettenpalm area, and that he had told him that he was present when Shannon was buried, and that there were 6 to 8 other people that were also there. And that I said, why? And he said, well, all he would say was that Shannon was doing something up there he shouldn't have been doing. So I said to him, because I just want to know, and I said I would like to speak with him. Will you, tell me his name? He said no. I said, well, will you give him my phone number and have him call me? And he said, well, he's not going to call you. He doesn't want, anything to do with it. He's just kind of telling me to back off. So, but I've never had anyone call and tell me anything like that. I've left my number on flyers. I have my phone number. I believe it's still on my Facebook page. It's on all the flyers. I've left it out there and still have the same phone number for that reason. If anybody wants to call and tell me any rumors, I'm willing to listen, if there's anything. We hired helicopter companies, that flew for 3 days. We hired drones from Southern Humboldt to come. We purchased a drone. We've been up there, flown the drone. We hired the tracker. We've put flyers up on that road, along the road. I think we put 80 flyers up the first year. I have a son-in-law that works up in that area, and so he kind of keeps track of if there's any flyers missing, or if he hears any type of rumors, or he's heard nothing. He's heard absolutely nothing. And he's up there every other week, I believe. He drives truck and is up there. So I want answers. What I would really like is my son back. Ultimately, that's
They're not,
what I want. But
and they're not coming forward at all with any information, not a single one, correct?
no,
Okay.
nothing. No.
Now, I did hear a story in that area regarding some human trafficking and their workers, on how they treat them. Do you know if Shannon was treated bad when he was working
yeah.
for them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He had both the boys living in a very, very small trailer, and that Shannon was a very large man. A little camp trailer. There was no running water. There was no sewer. They had a sewer thing that just kind of ran off the side of the hill there. There was no electricity. He had to buy propane. The same thing when they had, when my other kids and Shannon and his brother and stuff were trimming for these people. They had them in a trailer full of mildew with rats in there. There was no running water, no bathrooms. But I told the girls and Thomas, we have to stay here, because if Shannon comes walking off that mountain, maybe he'll come here. So we tried that for for a while, hoping he would come. But
If you're breaking up a
yeah,
little, Lavonna, if you do need a moment, by all means, you can take one on or off camera, just so you know. Because
yeah, they're very, very horrible to work for. They don't care.
yeah, we're losing you pretty good at this point, Lavonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear us,
Okay.
but didn't hear the last like 30 seconds. I just don't want to make it. Can you maybe try to adjust the computer a little, just so you don't have to repeat yourself?
Yeah, the
or-
working conditions are horrendous for people out like that. They
Okay, it's
don't
better.
think they need to get bathroom, running water, power, plumbing, suitable sleeping arrangements. Nothing. That's one of the reasons why after Shannon went missing, I went and voted to legalize it. Because, oh,
Lavonna, we're having a real lot of trouble hearing you. Could you maybe try to move to a different part of the room, just because we're pretty much missing everything you're saying? Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. It sounds like you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry
think she
about
can.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
seems better.
saying that's why I was so infuriated with what I saw, that after Shannon was missing, the first chance I got, I went and voted to legalize it because I wanted people held accountable for how they're treated and how many people are missing. Just a few months prior to Shannon being missing, there was another gentleman missing a couple hours away from Shannon out in the hills. Oh,
Is she only breaking up for me, or can you hear her, Denise? Because
No, she's breaking up for me too.
yeah, Lavon, I don't know if you can try a different room, but unfortunately, every time you move, it works for a few seconds, and then
that's
we lose
okay.
you.
Is
I'm
it
sorry.
better?
Well, it
Or-
seems to be better every time you
No.
move, but then it.
No?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's seeming like it's getting better now.
Yeah, there's
While you're
several
moving,
men missing up there. Couple months prior to Shannon, a Dustin Martin was missing. He was up missing off of a grow. I'm friends with one of his family friend members, and also a Joseph that's missing. I'm friends with his sister. He was missing a year, I think, prior to Shannon. He was on a grow, and I know people think that they were out doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing, but I don't think that should be a death penalty.
of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
While you're setting up, it is
That's
starting
okay.
to get better. We do have someone, asking about. I believe it was a
Get that.
backhoe. Yeah, Dee Dee Dalton asked about a backhoe that you saw or heard about. Sorry, I don't know if you answered it because you were breaking up a lot the last like 8 minutes. So sorry if you already answered it.
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe I'll go downstairs.
yeah, wherever the modem is, maybe if you could, or the router, that would be best because every time you move, it seems like it got really good, but then it quickly goes south. So, guys, while she's moving, if you have any questions in the chat, so they were planning to harvest. Just to give you guys a little recap because of the tech issues, they were planning to. Oh, looks like she might be back. They were planning to harvest the crops.
Is that
They were missing
better?
that sounded good.
No.
Poor Lavonna.
Sorry, Lavonna. Tech issues. Always,
Is it
I
better?
always have them. That sounded good with what you just said. Hopefully we can stick with that. But now I can't hear you. Can you say something?
Okay.
I can't hear her.
Yeah, it's happening again, Lavonna.
Yes, that was on. Oh, no, that was on Wednesday. We were still on the property searching, and
You're talking about
yeah,
the backhoe was on
it
Wednesday?
drove by. It was on the back of a semi. It had been on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm right by the inter. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Wi-Fi or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right next to the internet, so hopefully that works.
Okay.
That's
Eh, I don't
okay.
think so.
Yes, the backhoe was that's the baby oh no. Yeah, the baby excavator or the backhoe. That was on Wednesday. Oh no.
Well, you were sounding good for a few
Darn it.
minutes there. Hi, Sharon. Well, you were just actually sounding good, I think.
Yeah, I think she's having connection problems.
Lavonna, if you can hear me, do you want to try from logging in?
That was
Don't leave where you are, but
keep the
try from the
mountain
phone,
until
maybe.
Thursday to call the helicopters. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're not really catching anything you're saying at this point. Maybe try. Can you try logging in from your phone? All you got to do is click the link. I don't know. It's just pretty much the last 15 to 20 minutes, we haven't heard much of what you said. It started out good, but we just can't hear you.
Darn it.
Yeah. Every time you move, it works for like 20 seconds and then it goes right immediately back.
Maybe I need a better laptop.
Could be. Do you want to, if you can go into Facebook from your phone and click the link from the phone on Chrome, that might work. We can give it a few minutes for you to try that because the cell phone, you might just have bad Wi-Fi too. The cell phone service might be better. Sorry, guys. Thank you for being patient with us.
I'm going to put it right on the. Okay. Okay. It's right on top of the internet. Is that better?
Seems better so far.
Is it?
Hear her better.
Yeah. But right back.
There was a question earlier about Sightings.
I'll go get.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to try from the cell phone because I don't think this is gonna.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll go get my phone.
Yeah, try that because I don't think it's the position since you're right on it.
I
Sorry,
think
guys.
I have to upgrade my internet.
Yeah, I need to too. StreamYards is pretty good. It picks up the majority of does the muscle, but you can just stay on that. Oh, I think she hung up that one. I was gonna say she can do both, but all right, guys. Hopefully, I will put some in the chat. I'll try to give timestamps of if we get this going again. Otherwise, I'm wondering if we should.
Okay, good.
Can you try going from the phone? Because I don't think we're going to have luck with the laptop. So yeah, guys, just to recap with you a little, they did search with dogs, but what did you say, Denise? It was like a month and a week or a month and 2 weeks afterwards?
It was, yeah, December. The dogs were released on the property, but nothing came out. So it was a few months after he went missing that they had, the dog searching. But I guess where I'm disturbed at all this is how they've never came forward and helped, and somebody knows this. Somebody knows where he's at. And I guess it shocks me that they can't come forward. The search didn't seem that long with the police. That's what concerned me also. And also the fact that Shannon is 5'11" and 300 pounds. So that tells me not just one person helped with this.
Right.
I mean, it could have been one person who harmed him, but he's a big guy to move. I mean, there's no way. I'm small, but there's no way. Gosh, 300-pound, 5'11" person. It's going to take a lot of people to move. Which concerns me about the backhoe.
Right, exactly. I was thinking that. I mean, I'm 6'5", and I mean, I'm probably like 230 now, but I've been 290 in the past, and even I would have trouble moving him, I think, alone.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think we would need a few people.
Absolutely. And the fact that 6 people were there and they're keeping their mouths shut, I find that very disgusting. I hate to say that, but I find when these people hide. Is she coming back?
I think so. Hi, Lavonna.
Hi, so sorry, Jason and
It's
Denise.
okay. I'm wondering.
Oh, you're okay.
So it's up to you guys, everyone in the chat. Now I'm breaking up, Dee. Should we just continue from here, or should I end this and restart it? I just want to do what's best for Shannon. What does everyone think? Do you want to just leave a timestamp for people to come here? Just because we had a good 20 minutes where we couldn't really hear anything you were saying.
I'm sorry.
No, not your fault at all. I just want to make sure we do a video that gets Shannon's story out there. I don't want people leaving because they think it didn't end up getting fixed. You know what? I'll just put in the comments that around 37 minutes is when we fixed it. So can you tell about the backhoe? Because I think that's when we started breaking up.
Yeah, that was the Wednesday when we were still up there searching. When it stopped they had it on the back of a semi flatbed, and it stopped, and Elon went up and spoke with the gentleman. And I could tell that I just got the feeling that they knew each other, the way they were laughing and talking. It didn't seem like they were strangers. He wasn't, it didn't seem like he was asking for directions. He was on a mountain road, and it had worked in. And there was also another thing that was fishy about that. Shannon's aunt and uncle live about 4 miles from there. They've lived up there for years. They own a big ranch up there. And, but they were up there helping us search for Shannon too. I had called them the day he went missing and had them go up there to meet me because they know that area and I, didn't at all. And I figured, they would know something about searching for people. Well, they went to the gate at Josh's property and the other properties and tried to get in, but the gate was locked. So they are from that area. So they went up into a back road to come back down and got stopped by these men and were told, you're not coming on this property this way. We're up here doing work. And Roxanne said she told them, we are coming through. My nephew's missing and we are coming through no matter what. If we have to get cops to do it, we are coming through. So they guided them where they wanted them to go to get down to Josh's side of the mountain. But they had to go a certain way. And my brother-in-law said to me, someone on that mountain knows something. So I know that he was from that area, been there for so long. They're very strict Adventists. You know, they own businesses in Covelo, and I know that they are not into that kind of thing. They don't do that stuff, but they're up there. They have a big campground where the Adventists can go and stay and stuff, and they have, you know, religious meetings, and they hold church for, you know, people up there and stuff. So they're those kind of people. So I felt like I had a little bit of protection with them up there, you know, as long as they were there with me. But yeah, that was not a good day. I don't think that's, yeah, I think those people know. I know they know. My gut tells me they know what happened. And they need to let me have my son back, because then I'll shut up. But until then, I'm not going to. I'm not going to stop looking. I'm not that kind of a mother. I just about do anything to find him. So, because I don't think you should leave people out like that. If he's deceased and laying out there, he needs to be, you know, laid to rest properly, not left like that. He's not an animal.
Absolutely. And we didn't mention this earlier, but it looks like, is there still a reward for him, it says?
There is. Yes, I have a $10,000 reward, and I know that's not a lot of money, but it is to me. So if I had more, I would definitely raise that, you know. But,
Oh, well, I think that's a considerable amount. So if you know anything, please keep that in mind. There is a reward for information leading to him, leading to Shannon. So please, any bit of information. I always say this in most videos, but even if you think the piece you know is too small to matter, that's never the case. Those are always the things that solve these cases, because they're made up of 5,000 little pieces of information like that. It's like a puzzle, and you're missing that one piece, and what you know might match with what someone else knows, and boom, all of a sudden it's a huge clue. So if you do know something, please come forward. Do you want to go into, you had mentioned something about a bomb threat that night and the roads closed. So it was kind of weird circumstances. Do you want to kind of go over that on the day?
Yes, it was really weird. We were going to head out that way that morning when Shannon was missing, but a friend of mine had called and said, I don't think you can get out there. They've closed the road. And I said, why'd they close the road? And he said there was a bomb threat out there. So a bomb threat. Yeah, some guy had called in and said that there was a bomb in his wife's car. I believe it's right when you first get onto Alder Point Road. I think it's a fire station or CDA, I don't know, a forestry department. Something is right there off to the right. And that's where they closed the road, because one of the cars had, and it happened early morning hours of the 12th, October 12th of 2015. I sent one of the links to one of the gals in the group. I found it and sent it. And I thought that was really odd. Elon said, oh, Josh went to school with him, I think. And I thought, boy, that's another coincidence that kind of stinks, you know. The morning, early hours of the morning that my son went missing, all of a sudden the road's closed and we can't get through there right away. You know, I thought that was really odd too. Another thing, you couldn't get internet up there unless you were at certain points, and they were far and few between up there. And Shannon was reading Shannon's messages, you know, were between him and Josh. And Shannon had asked him to buy him some chew and some tobacco on his way up, because Josh was supposed to meet him that morning. They were going to start taking plants down. And Josh didn't get that message until he got back to town after all of it. And I thought, that's really odd, because if he was in Fortuna, Shannon went and sent him the message from one of the internet spots. How come it took him days later to receive that message? Maybe he was already up there on that mountain, because Thomas said that Shannon was, acting a little like paranoid that night. And after they spoke with me, they came down and they were sharpening tools and stuff, the machete and stuff to take down and take the plants down. And they were in the trailer when they got finished. And Thomas said, Shannon said to him, "Did you see that?" And Thomas said, "What?" And he said, "Someone just walked by the window of the trailer." And Thomas said, "No, Shannon, I didn't see that," but just too many things aren't making, didn't make sense to me then, nor after I got to know other things. It's not adding up. None of it's adding up. There's no way he's lived up there that long. Another guy from that small area that was up there too told one of my daughters that mountains have eyes. And I thought, yeah, okay. I know that, people know things up there. People see things up there. It's time to let me have my son back. I wouldn't wish, I can't imagine having a small child missing. I can't imagine, because of the nightmare that we've been through with Shannon, I just can't imagine the thoughts, what you go through, how horrible. Yeah, teenagers missing. That's, Shannon was grown, but still, we loved him dearly. And so I just feel really bad for other people.
So you think that this could be some kind of combination of business relation souring, possible personal issues with the girl, some combination of all these things, or possibly money being due? What's your prevailing theory if someone was to ask you that they wanted to look into it?
I think those are all possibilities, because I know that we worked for them. My kids especially worked for them right after, and we never saw the stuff that Shannon grew. We only saw, his mother's stuff, his mother-in-law's stuff, his brother's stuff, his whoever's stuff they were taking down there to be trimmed up. And before Shannon was missing, when they first started taking the depots, they were getting 4.5 to 5 pounds in a large garbage bag. And we never saw any of that again. Never. We saw stuff that was, pathetically grown. There's no way it was Shannon's or Thomas's, and the numbers just don't add up. So I think it's a combination, maybe of all of it, of any of it. I'm not going to say I know for sure any of it, but it definitely doesn't make any. It did not add up. None of it added up. None of it went right. How did he know that Shannon wasn't on that property right away? I want to know why he did. How do you know on a 99-acre place that someone's there within a few hours that they're not there? I had one officer tell me that you can walk within a few feet of a body and not even realize that body's there, when you're searching for people. But yet he knew that my son wasn't there, 99 acres, he knew. None of it adds up. And the guy has lied to me. I've confronted him. I've posted things on Shannon's Facebook page, and He phoned and he lied and lied and lied the whole time. I said, Josh, I've got 2 of the daughters standing here and my son, knowing what you're saying is lies, and you're still, I don't think he could tell a true story if it hit him in the face. I'm not sure either one of them could. So.
Now, what about some sightings? Because Jake Knauer earlier did mention some sightings possibly in 2016. I'll have to check the city. And then I did see, I believe it was your daughter, his Shannon's sister, talking with someone in 2018 on a message board. I think it was like Christ something or anti something, the name, and saying like, oh, I saw him, but I have to find out what he was doing because if people want to go missing, they can, and all these things. Did any of these sightings ever go anywhere?
No, we didn't go there. We called and talked to the people that ran the cabins there, and they said no, it was not Shannon. They knew who they thought the person was talking about, but it wasn't Shannon. There was also a sighting in Covelo just a few days after, but we went to Keith's Market, or maybe the detective went to Keith's Market, but I think one of my daughters did, and they said they saw him in the store, and the manager, whoever it was, couldn't find him there. That's one of the places they did shop when they went to Covelo, that and the Kettenbaum store. Also, someone said they saw him hitchhiking out of the area in a red shirt. But this is someone who spent their entire life telling their other siblings, if you travel somewhere, you better call and tell mom you're okay. And even up there, the 8.5 months, every other day or so, he'd call and let me know that he was okay. So I'm not saying his younger brother would have did the same thing, but Shannon, always. And like I said, I've had the same phone number for close to 5 years. Well, I've had it for longer than that, but I've kept it. And it's one that all the kids know by heart. So there's no way he would have not been in contact.
Okay. Now, I think we lost Denise. It's okay because she's back. Hang on one second.
Okay.
We got you, Denise? Denise?
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's okay. Lavonna, I know you said that there's really no way, but in the event that he was out there, for whatever reason, he had decided to hide out because he was maybe experiencing something in his life or protecting you for something or whatever it may be. If he's out there and choosing to stay away for whatever reason, and what message do you want to get directly to him if Shannon's watching this now?
I would tell him that I love him and to please phone. We love him no matter what's happened or what's been done. We would never be mad. We just miss him tremendously, and we want to help him and support him and get through this. Please call or send one of us a message so that we can find out where you are and help you through this. We love you. We miss you. There's been babies born. You have more nieces and nephews. And I'm sorry if we, I don't know, put too much responsibility on you.
Hang in there.
Be strong. If you need a moment, by all means, take all the time you need, off camera as well.
Okay.
We have a few questions piling up in the chat, so we'll let those pile up, and you can take a moment.
Okay.
Do you need a minute off camera?
No, I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
You're doing a great job. You're representing
You
Shannon
are.
very well.
Stay strong, Lavonna.
Thank you, Denise.
So as for the questions, whenever you're ready. Dee Dee Dalton asks, was Josh interviewed by law enforcement from either Trinity or Mendo County?
No. And that's another thing I think I was trying to get to, but like I do so many times, I hit sporadically. It's weird how your mind races from one thing that you want to get out there, you feel so is important. But I've sent proof to the ladies that are there that Elon also has sheriffs on her Facebook pages that she's been friends with for years. One of them was Tom Ullman from Mendocino County, which she called, and they declined to come up and help. And Shannon was at a spot up there in Kettenpalm where 4 miles was one county line. He was in one county, and then I think it was 11 to 17 miles was another county line. So any one of them should have came, and they did not. I've often wondered why not. I often wondered why Officer Ward and Whitman, the 2 detectives from Trinity County, didn't search immediately or search Josh's trailer on the grow or his drying sheds, or, you know, they may have been able to see something that we would have overlooked because we were amateurs looking and very emotional and in shock. And so, but I kind of think that maybe it was fudged because of that. And that's what I told the FBI when I contacted them, was that she had 2 sheriffs on her friends list. And it concerned me that that's why we didn't get a proper investigation or search. Yeah.
Okay. Linda Richardson asks, have you checked his social security number for any activity?
The officer that's in Trinity County that's working on it, Josh Ford, told me maybe a year ago that I didn't know I could check his social security, but I'm assuming that's what he did. He told me that he would have no reason to believe that Shannon is out there. He thinks he's up in the mountains. And I've got to say that Detective Ford, you know, I think he is actually wanting to do something, has tried to do something. Nobody did any DNA testing or anything. Nobody did any type of, the only one that did a DNA test is Officer or Detective Ward came to my house, I think 6 months after Shannon was missing, and got my DNA so that if they ever found his body, they'd be able to show that it was Shannon. So
Okay.
they didn't ask for anything for Shannon's for DNA or anything. No.
Okay. Is there anything that we missed that you want to make sure you do get out? Both from Lavonna and Denise, if you also had any questions when she's done. I just want to make sure we cover everything. Try to be thorough. Lavonna, did you have anything that you wanted to make sure?
No, I hope I've done okay with trying to get it straight. It's so funny how your mind just kind of wanders and you jump to what you think's important and you try to go back. I hope I haven't missed anything. I hope I kind of told it to where it made sense to everyone.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. I pray that we get it out to someone who knows something and it leads somewhere. You know, and our hearts and prayers are with you. Absolutely. Denise, do you have any additional questions or thoughts?
You know, I do have a lot of questions, but I know I have, I'm reaching out to the detective involved and I'm going to go really heavy on this. I do want to say that as a personal connection, Lavonna, my heart is with you a lot. And
I know it is.
You know, I find
you look just like her. You look just like her.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But for people not speaking up to families, I find that behavior very wrong and disgusting and cowardly. And I hate to say that out, because going through the same thing as you are. And
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
sometimes you have to. And I don't understand how they can live with themselves every day and know that either they were involved or they know where this person is. How could you not give this person back to their family and let that family have closure? I don't care if it's them telling me where the remains are or whatever
I
happened.
know.
Just give me a reason to go help. And
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
it seems like an awful thing to say. It's not about getting a conviction. Sometimes it's about getting that closure for that family.
Absolutely.
And I think you're very strong for doing that, and I'm very proud of you. And we're going to do our best to help you with Shannon's case. If we got to
Thank you.
scream it out, make a loud scene, we will.
Yeah. Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, like Denise had said,
Absolutely.
even though we had some tech issues, the important thing was you told his story. We got his pictures out there. I'm going to go through one more time so everyone knows what happened, where it happened, and who it happened with. So again, we plead with you guys, if you know anything, there is no such thing as something too small to bring to our attention. I do have Shannon's Facebook page linked below. So of course that will be a good place to bring any tips. There also is an anonymous tip here. You could www.b-united.org, which is the group that I work with. They take anonymous tips, but the best place to put them is Trinity County, California Sheriff, 530-623-2611. Again, that's 530-623-2611. And it's case number 2015-001155. So if you know anything, if you've seen anything, if you even have any ideas, send it to the authorities. You can send it to the Facebook page, Shannon's Facebook page, which will go to Lavonna. And I always say, everyone has my email down below. You can send me something. It doesn't really make sense to just send it to me and not to send it to Lavonna and the authorities. But for whatever reason, if you did only feel comfortable sending something to me, I absolutely will pass it along. But again, it's encouraged to contact Lavonna on Shannon's page and the authorities. So with that being said, I'll just ask you one more time, Lavonna, are there any more details that I missed just to make sure we cover everything?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping I answered any questions that someone might have. I just want Shannon back. And
Absolutely.
It's been long enough.
For sure.
Thank you for this opportunity to get Shannon's name out there. His family appreciates it. Denise, I hope you find your loved one. You are beautiful, just like her, though. I have to tell you that. And
thank you.
I'm glad I met you. I wish I had been in different circumstances, and thank you so much, Jason.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us, and let's bring Shannon home. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight.
Okay,
All right, everyone. Have a great night.
You too.